Agricultural education. Two words that mean so much to our state and students. Agricultural education, or Ag Ed, serves around 35,000 students around the state. Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a second-year student majoring in agricultural education. Throughout this podcast, we're going to dive into some information about agricultural education and urban schools and hear from current ag teachers and workers about their views. Now, why am I majoring in agricultural education? I'm not the typical rural ag ed student who grew up on the farm and hopes to teach and run the family farm when I get older. I had no interest in agriculture, and just like most high school students, I changed my mind on what I wanted to do every month. From becoming a lawyer to running a business, I truly wanted to do everything at one point in high school. And throughout it all, Ag Ed supported me. I had the best ag teachers that supported me through all my ambitious career goals and taught me so much from leadership to agriculture. I learned about myself as a leader, created a resume, had mock interviews, learned how to cook for myself, learned how to landscape a lawn, how to change a tire, how to make a wooden table, and how to properly propagate a plant, all through ag classes. I'm a student who found a passion for agriculture when I was in high school and want to show it to other students that we need diverse backgrounds in the agricultural industry as it itself is diverse. A recent addition to my story is my connection with Harley Braun, an urban ag teacher who teaches at the Highland Park High School. She went to the U of M for Ag Ed and minored in the Racial Justice Urban Schooling minor. And now she uses both to help shape the lives of her students.
Why did you choose an urban school?
At the U of M, I had become more interested in teaching in an urban area because I had had a few experiences in urban schools. I was a part of Growing North Minneapolis, and I did a garden program with them over the summer, and I also did a classroom program with them where I worked with students in the classroom, and I really enjoyed those programs. I also really enjoyed the minor, the Racial Justice and Urban Schooling minor. So the combination of those things made me interested in looking at teaching at an urban school.
And then the last question I have for you is, why is it important to have agricultural education in urban schools?
I think it's important to have agricultural education in urban schools because so many of the students in urban schools have a lot of connections to agriculture that they don't realize. So it's helpful for students to recognize their own connections they already have, and also build connections to things that are important for everyone's lives. It's really important for people to be able to grow their own food or cook their own food and have food sovereignty, or at least understand where their food is coming from. And a lot of the racial justice issues and social justice issues that we're seeing come to the forefront in society play a role in agricultural as well. Like when we look at food deserts and food apartheid, or labor issues within agriculture, like all of the things are interconnected, and agriculture is a really awesome platform to be able to discuss social issues like immigration, like labor laws, like food access, that other classes may not address.
Ag Ed has the potential in every school to be a class where students can take what they learn in core classes and connect it to real-world experiences. Ag Ed also helps build communities and puts value in helping communities. Strong emphasis is placed on community service projects. Ag Ed empowers every student in every classroom to make a positive impact in their community. It provides quality resources, recognition, and opportunities for students to put their leadership into action through service engagement. Overall, Ag Ed helps students become career-ready and community leaders no matter what they choose to do. But to have these amazing programs, they need support. Our last interview was with Sarah Dornink, the Executive Director for the Minnesota Agricultural Education Leadership Council, a government-appointed organization that supports, promotes, and expands Ag Ed in the state of Minnesota. She's at the forefront of expanding Ag Ed into schools around Minnesota and especially in the Twin Cities area.
Why is it important to have agricultural education in urban schools?
That's a really great question, Emily. I think there's a few areas. So there's just, of course, been a increasing interest in people knowing where their food comes from, kind of that cultural perspective of food and agriculture, healthier eating, concerns about the environment and how our farming practices affect our future and climate change and the soil and all the parts that are so interconnected around agriculture. And so I think having ag ed in our urban schools is partially to address those issues and have that exposure. So, having agriculturally literate citizens. And so I think having those students really understand this world is really important, even if they don't have, a corn and soybean field in their backyard. And then the important part for me of, the work that I do is in kind of that workforce development. So agriculture is the largest employer in the nation. We have more than 23 million jobs related to agriculture and food. And, here in Minnesota, we have, Fortune 500 agriculture and food companies right in the metro area. We've had a huge, tremendous growth and expansion in our community food sectors and really innovative farming happening in our metro areas. Actually, get programs into an urban school or urban schools is difficult because, administrators or people see, they're not going to be farmers. And so they just think like, we shouldn't have ag ed here because they're not farming. And there are high wage, high skill, high demand careers that will be great for students.
And my next question for you, Sarah, is what is MAELC doing to work towards more programs in the Twin Cities area?
So MAELC has done a lot of things, starting from when we started. It took a little while. We had a few programs here or there, but in the last 10-ish years, we've really grown and expanded, and we have nearly 30 programs in the 7-county metro. And so it really has become something. I also serve on both the St. Paul and Minneapolis School District agriculture advisories. So St. Paul has been a little stronger and around longer. And so they have a different model. They do community-based. And so they actually are in like 5 schools in the St. Paul school. Minneapolis just started their program last year. This was on my bucket list. I was very excited to get them started. Of course, starting a pandemic, it didn't quite start how they're hoping, but it is coming along. And so excited to have Minneapolis join us. And then working with that, we're working towards diversifying our teacher candidate pool to ensure that our teacher workforce demographics match our student demographics, which is especially important in our urban agriculture education programs.
As we heard from each interview, ag ed is important for students in so many different ways. That includes urban students. For an elective class that used to focus on farming and livestock, ag ed has grown into a class where students can learn career skills and become agriculturally literate. And they can grow into a leader no matter who they are.